Hey folks, it's time for your studio update. I am sitting here with who, as you may know, is an absolute genius. Shannon thought of a new thing today to improve our system.
I can't take credit for it, though.
It's fantastic. And it's all her doing. It's amazing. I don't know how she comes up with this stuff. Tell us all about it.
You want... Okay,
yeah, about the packing and shipping thing, yeah.
So, well, do they understand how it works? Does it matter?
Yeah, no, just go ahead and...
Okay. So basically, it has three processes when your project's here in the studio. It goes through painting, or assembly, painting, and then it comes to me, digital and packing.
Right.
So they always check off in each section, so now they check it off to me. And I get to learn about your projects and make sure it's all there and do a last count of everything, make sure it's good. So that was my idea. So now they actually have to come talk to me. So yeah.
So when your project's done, the artist goes to the art director. Instead of the art director checking it off and just saying, okay, take it over to digital, they go over and then Shannon actually makes sure all your stuff is in there and, you know, everyone reviews the entire thing one last time.
Yeah.
So it's
sweet.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I just had to share that with the world.
He's pretty excited about it.
I
made
am.
him tear up a little bit today.
It did. It brought a tear to this grizzled old veteran's eye. And I use the term veteran very loosely. All right, so we're going to move on. I'm doing a studio update after this. This is actually more of a PSA. And here they come. Let's talk about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is regular hours at Blue Table Painting. I'm available to answer queries, set up new projects, and that does include part of actual Thanksgiving Day. I will be on deck. And so give me something to be thankful for in addition to all the other stuff. And that is a new project for our studio to do. Also, for the time being, probably ad infinitum, I'm not sure, we're doing a new program. It's expedited, and that means you can get your project for a fee. You can get your project done guaranteed in 2 weeks. That means even a whole army where we have to order all of the materials to it. There are limitations to that. Obviously, we can't get things overseas that fast. And it's fantastic. Had quite a few people take us up on it, and so far, so good. I will include a link in the liner notes to explain more about that. Also, so item number 3. We are going to be doing an open call for talent soon, which is in 2012. I anticipate that I will add between 4 and 8 positions for artists. That can be assembly, painting, or both. And I've decided to open that up nationwide. However, at this time, absolutely do not contact me about this. I'm going to do a thing probably in the next 7 days telling exactly how it works. So whatever you do, don't contact me. I just wanted to put that out there. Maybe you can kind of turn it over in your mind a little bit. And I think that's all the PSAs right now. All right, that's it for the announcements. Just to reiterate, we are open through the holidays. Thanksgiving Day I'll be available via email, and then the studio will be open Friday, Saturday. Oh, also, locals that want to come down and look through our trade stock, it is generally 50% off. There's a ton of really amazing deals in there, so I encourage you to give me a call, send me an email, and come on down and spend some money.
Yeah, you tell him, Sean.
All right, we're here with Brig. Genius. A genius in his time. Misunderstood, but beloved by a few that can recognize. All right, let's see it.
Right, here's my dire badger.
Dire badger.
The tail needs some work, but the rest of it's pretty much done. It's gonna have 3 white stripes.
Okay.
So it looks badgery. I had to resculpt the head, get some extra
Let's
fur.
get an angle on that head. Okay, go ahead, turn it around.
Some poofy ears.
There you go. So So is a badger's tail kind of flat like this? I don't.
I wanted it to be
Just
poofy,
like a
skunk.
squirrel or something.
Yeah.
Or it'll look good when it's painted. I think it'll work. Brig looks doubtful.
Well,
he's like,
in my head,
it is a
really
non-genius saying that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Great.
No, I was thinking it's a non-genius tail, and it doesn't belong on a genius dire badger.
Yeah. Well, we were debating if the head was overly small, but I actually think it's okay for, it makes the body look kind of more bulked up,
He's on steroids. Oh,
yeah.
check this out.
Okay, I'm ready.
A litter of dire badger babies.
Fantastic. Is that going to be part of your scenario? So is this the published figure?
I made the cade for them
Seriously?
a long time
Yeah,
ago.
that is a dire badger. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So I think she's going to have a nest of them in the campaign.
That is really. What you should do is you should have these, right? So they fight not even knowing this exists yet. They fight these, and it's like they just barely survive. One of them. They're just like, oh man, that was so tough. Oh, here comes the mother. That old thing. All right, so what else are you working on? I want to see.
So I'm extending a Juggernaut so that I can put this larger rider on.
Oh, and he's actually going to ride it this time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because he's way too big to be on a normal-sized Juggernaut.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's
that
only halfway
looks-
done. I'm going to put plates along the bottom.
It looks proportionate.
Yeah,
Looks really
I think it'll look good.
It's good. Good for you. All right, fantastic. Thanks, Brig. What are you working on, Thomas?
I'm matching Dark Eldar here to those pictures,
Okay.
but they're level 2s, so
Great.
I have to try and figure out how to match them without exceeding my
Allotment.
allotment. Yeah.
Got it.
So,
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks.
that's
All right. This is Brett. Again, new guy. New guy, as we're calling him.
Yes.
And
I'm actually down in
hold
this-
on, just hold on a second. I want to show you your station. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's new.
Yeah, he's probably like a serial killer or something. He'd be like, Sean's on to me. I'll have to kill him first.
When he least expects it.
What's
Yep.
Annabelle's station?
No, it looks great. It's so clean. Look at that.
I don't like
That is amazing.
Yeah.
They're very meticulous.
down low.
They have to clean up all that evidence all the time, so they're kind of used to it.
I don't leave any like.
Okay, so what I want to know is how was it to interview for this job?
I actually enjoyed it. Like, I don't enjoy most interviews. I don't see how many people would. But I liked it. I had a good time. And I think you and the other people that interviewed me asked me really relevant questions. And I don't think that happens very often in an interview.
Oh, great.
So.
Like what? Can you remember one of them?
Well, you asked me a lot more questions about me and about who I was, as opposed to like, oh, this is where you worked, blah blah blah. Unrelevant work information.
Relevant to work.
Yeah, asking about your work history would be irrelevant.
No, I mean, but how
No,
relevant?
it's important what kind of person you are, you know.
And I think the questions you asked were enlightening to me, at least, because a lot of the questions I hadn't been asked before.
Okay.
So I had to think,
Like what? Can you name one? Do you remember one?
you asked me the question like, what kind of things do you like? And I've been asked that many times, but you kind of kept pushing as far as like, well, why do you like that? Or, that's not a very good answer. Really, what do you like?
Right. I badgered you.
Yeah, and not badgered.
Pardon the phrasing. Yes.
I appreciate it.
he dire
But
Yes. Yeah, at least I didn't dire badger him.
no, you just kept kind of prying into who I was
Right.
beyond the superficial.
So you had 2 interviews, right? You had one with me and Sarah, and then who was the secondary one with?
And then I had another interview with you again, and John and Cameron.
Okay, so it was to be a painter.
Yes.
Now was that because you had applied like 8 months ago or
Yeah,
something
like
like
6
that?
months ago. So
Right.
at that point, I had an interview with you and Sarah, and then I came down and spoke with James and Brigham.
Okay, so you had a secondary one for assembly because that was your original
That was
thing.
my original.
And then you actually contacted me, I think, many months later.
6 months.
Right,
Yeah.
about 6 months? So you actually
Almost
know.
exactly 6 months, yeah.
Wow, all right.
Didn't plan it that way, but that's
Right.
just how it worked out.
And then, and that time was really weird because I was training Cameron and John how to interview people.
And that also was...
And I was explaining as I went along what I was doing.
Which was very
It was like we were dissecting you, but you were conscious.
Exactly.
And I was telling them what we were finding.
No, and I thought that was fantastic, because I'm usually not on the other end of the interview.
Right.
So it was enlightening
Meaning
to see.
you usually are the one doing the interview?
No, being interviewed.
Oh, being interviewed.
And so
Oh,
you kind of gave
so
me
you got an insight.
into what it's like to actually interview someone.
Right.
So I found that all very fascinating and interesting.
All right. That's great. So originally, all right, I'm going to get on now. So originally, Brett came in for assembly, and he showed us this. Can you pull your two pieces out for us to see? And this is what he brought in. He really didn't know anything about the games. And but when he came back, the 6 months later, he had painted up how many figures? Like 12 figures? A whole boatload of figures.
About 25.
Saying, by the way, I went out and learned about the games and taught myself how to do it.
Yeah, I spent 6 months learning how to paint kind of in the Games Workshop style. And,
yeah,
you know,
and it was really, can you actually pull a few of those out? It's not very good resolution, but it'll be something at least.
There's a Tau broadside.
Right, so this is what he brought in from never having painted. Oh, those are, did you magnetize these yourself too? So basically, you just went out, and taught yourself how to do it.
Captain.
Well, that's fantastic. Look at that. And you did like fancy bases and the whole thing.
And then I got an Orc War Boss here.
So you bought the Assault on Blackreach
Yeah.
set? Is that what they pitched you when you went to the shop?
No.
To look for figures?
I
You just figured that would be a good place to
I
start?
had a lot of variety and some decently detailed stuff. So
Okay, great. But let's talk about these. So how long have you been doing this then?
I've been doing this stuff for 20 plus years.
Okay, so as a kid.
Yeah, I started. My grandfather would actually send me model kits for Christmas.
Right.
And so I started out. My dad would help me out. You know, I'd slap some paint on, slap some glue on, and call it good.
Right.
And as I kept doing more and more, I wanted to get better and better and more detail and better painting.
And these kits are a lot more complicated.
Oh yeah, I mean, this thing's easily got 300 parts on it.
Right.
And a lot of them are
So
really,
this
really
sort of
small.
thing. Yeah. Well, they're to the correct scale.
Yeah.
It's not like a gun is like this. Mm-hmm. You know, where look at this guy's like pistol. You know. So.
That's the scale to an orc.
All right. Yeah. There it is. And this thing is amazing. I really.
Here, the bottom's better to look
Well,
like this more.
yeah. Last time I touched it when you weren't around, I actually broke a piece off. So.
Well, I never found out.
Well, I loosened a piece at least. Yeah, that's like this is very, you know, fragile. Mm-hmm. All those.
Yeah, these
little,
aren't meant to be played with like the Games Workshop stuff.
Right.
So,
They go on display and that's it.
yeah.
Well, I have to tell you that's really fantastic. How many man hours goes into something like this?
50 plus.
Okay, a lot.
Yeah.
That is really and you painted this too, right?
It's
Everything
mainly
all
airbrushed.
accurate. Really? Okay. Great. So you're a hand with an airbrush too.
Try to be.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. All right. Well, thanks a lot.
No
It was a
problem.
lot of fun. All right, James, you're up next. What's new?
I am actually working on some demons, believe it or not. They came through. We've got 20 pink horrors and a total of 30 bloodletters we'll be doing here.
Okay, great.
Tons of them. Most of them are going to be stock. I do.
Yeah, but I mean in general. What are you doing for your personal armies nowadays?
Actually working on a Pre-Heresy Thousand Suns, which
Right.
some
in fact, are those
have already
around?
seen.
Can we see the Land Raider for that?
Yeah. Some may have already seen it on the videos for the.
Oh, so
tournament
okay, yeah. So we've already seen this stuff.
But not up close. This
Okay.
was an old school original Rogue Trader era Land Raider. I
Right.
cut and extended out.
So you cut it in half.
Yeah,
and
cut it in
added
half.
about that much to it.
Yep, so now the dimensions, it's the exact same length as a current model Land Raider. The width is, with these here, it's just a hair wider than a current, and it is just a little bit taller. But if you add in like the sponsons and everything on a regular
Okay.
Land Raider, they're about the same height.
Okay,
So,
great.
Do have some old school
Fantastic.
rhinos here that I added some new school pieces to,
Okay,
just to kind of
great.
make them a little
Right.
bit better. And
Well,
then
it's camp. The shoulder pads. Let's talk about the shoulder pads to these guys.
these shoulder pads here, are custom scratch built from the Tomb Kings line.
Right, they're the, what are they called? Crypt Knights.
Yeah, the Crypt Knights. We've got a ton of those extra arms left over, so I decided to try to make some Pre-Heresy shoulder pads. Obviously, that's an old Ushabti blade for this Force helmet there.
Well, you have quite a smorgasbord of pieces around here.
Oh yeah, and this one here, this is a prototype. I've got to finish painting it up here. I had one of the painters here messing around with it.
So using the Grey Knights list.
Yeah, running Grey Knights list as Pre-Heresy Thousand Suns, and of course, if anybody's read any of the Bella Lost Soul stuff, they've got a plastic dudesman up there that's like 20.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
And I have to really tip my hat to them. That was one of the better cartoons I've seen.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's awesome.
This is a guy who's probably one of my favorites here. This is my librarian.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, look at the staff on him. That's from the War Sphinx kit, right? That is really exquisite. Wow, that is really slick.
Oh yeah, and then I've added, like this guy here, you can see a scarab on his chest and on his little loincloth.
Oh, that's
thing.
clever. That's from the new Tomb Kings stuff as well.
New Tomb Kings are awesome.
And the heads are Chaos Warriors?
Yep, Chaos Warriors with little bits
and is this
and
just a
pieces.
regular Terminator guy?
Well, it's actually regular Terminator legs.
No, I mean in the game he represents a Terminator.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the game, he's just regular Terminator. I'm probably going to make some more that are going to possibly run as double paladins as the thing expands out. I want to make
fantastic. How many points do you have here?
Right now, I'm looking at like 1,500.
Okay,
I'm
great.
shy my 3 dreadnoughts for the full list.
Oh yeah, that's right. And those are en route. You're using the Contemptors.
Yep. The
Forge
Pre-Heresy
World.
era.
Well, I have to tell you, that's really fantastic. That'll bring it up to 3,000, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing.